Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World, and I want to take a second and say congratulations to Miss Ashley Williams, who let me turn this crap off. I hate when these computers like automatically start talking and they don't even ask you if you want to hear all this crap. But anyway, I was on CNN.com and I'm reading about Ashley Williams and another young student. I don't know if it's a young lady or a young man, but she disrupted Hillary Clinton's event, and basically said that Hillary needs to apologize for mass incarceration. She went up and she was referring to a 1994 crime bill in which Hillary Clinton's husband, Bill, was responsible for the incarceration of tens of thousands of African-American people. She used scary terms to scare white people like super predator, which really come right out of slavery. In terms of convincing white people that black people are animals, that we are subhuman. She fell for the okie doke in terms of really going along with white supremacy when it was convenient for her. And here's what Williams said. She said, we need to take on these people. Oh, sorry about that. This is what Hillary said. Sorry. We need to take these people on, referring to quote-unquote gang members. They're often connected to big drug cartels. They are not just gangs of kids anymore. They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators, Hillary said during a C-SPAN video. No conscience, no empathy. We could talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel. So let's talk about this for a second. And I really wish Hillary Clinton was watching this video right now. I really wish she was listening to this. You know, these people that you're referring to as super predators, these people where you were campaigning to literally lock them up and throw away the key. These were, in many cases, parents of young children who needed their parents as much as you needed your mommy and daddy when you grew up. These are human beings. These are people who, in many cases, made bad decisions in some situations because they had no other options, because government policy had abandoned these communities. These were people who were victims of government policy that also allowed drugs and weapons to simply obliterate their communities out of nowhere now, to the point where we have an entire generation of black people who have parents who were either addicted to the drugs that the CIA was letting into black communities. They were incarcerated for selling the drugs because you didn't have any economic opportunities in those communities. They were murdered in drug-related violence because all these guns that we didn't make these guns. All these weapons miraculously appeared in black communities. Or they were traumatized from having to see all of this and being the survivors of this horror, this Holocaust that was imposed upon black people because people like you don't give a damn. Now, let's be real about this. Let's really go back and talk about these wars on drugs and how you and your husband, Bill, were so conveniently scapegoated black people into making us look like criminals and super predators so that you could get elected, so you can win favor with people, with white folks that you know have a habit of committing themselves to white supremacy. I mean, let's talk about this. Many of these drugs that we were being locked up for, where you were giving us these sentences that were 50, 80, 90, 100 years long, many of these drugs were being distributed by big cartels. And you never went after the cartel owners. You never went after the Colombians and the people who were bringing the drugs into the country. They were getting light sentences. You were letting the drugs into the hood so that you could arrest that dope boy on the corner and send him away to prison at the age of 18 and lock him up so long that when he got out, he would be an old man. I do not forgive you for this, Hillary. I will never forgive you. I will never forgive your husband. Your husband is a rat. Your husband's a liar. Your husband's a piece of crap. I have no respect for you. And you know what else? I'm going to tell you the truth, people. I'm sorry, but this is not a campaign for Bernie Sanders either. Bernie Sanders is so ignorant that he doesn't even believe in supporting reparations. If you want to really understand the depth of the pain that you have caused, that people like you have caused to black people, I want you to read Dr. Claude Anderson's book, Black Labor, White Wealth. Black labor, white wealth, because part of the reason that you don't understand why things like reparations are so important, or why black people are owed a debt in this country, is because you're ignorant. You've been fed a big dose of white supremacy your entire life, nothing but lies, just like your forefathers were. just like the slave masters were. You've been fed nothing but lies about what black people are, and you've committed yourself to systems that are designed to oppress black people and keep us in our place. So as a result, because you got some black people who feel like they don't have any choice other than to support the best Democrat they can find, you're able to go into black churches and sway and say, oh, Lordy Jesus be, and eat barbecue chicken and play the saxophone and dance the nay-nay and do all this other coonery and get black votes. But that day has really come. That day is pretty much gone now. You're dealing with a different black population now. People are much more aware, much more informed, much less afraid than they were before. I think this young lady and her friends that came into the Black Lives Matter activists, they came in and disrupted your comfort. They did the exact right thing. They did exactly what they needed to do. Because you've been disrupting our comfort for many decades, many centuries over time. People like you have come in and destroyed our communities, destroyed our families, hurt us in irreparable ways, and then acted like everything was okay. Well, everything's not okay. And I can't imagine anything that Hillary Clinton really could do, to be honest with you, that would make me forgive and forget. Because when I forgive and forget, I'm forgiving and forgetting all the tens of thousands of black men and black women in prison right now who are rotting away over minor mistakes they made back when they were 19, 20 years old. Maybe a drug possession, minor drug distribution, whatever. But now you got all these white kids hooked on heroin, and suddenly you want to say, oh, poor baby, oh, heroin it's a drug addiction's a disease, so we want to send you to the clinic and help you. We incarcerated them just isn't the answer. Well, you weren't saying that when black people were getting hooked on heroin. You weren't saying that when black people were possessing crack. I know a guy, Daryl Pageant, I think is his last name. This brother, he possessed a gram of crack cocaine at the age of 26. They sent him to prison. They gave him 40 years for possession of 1 gram of crack cocaine. And he's not the only one. There's thousands of people out there like him. And when they locked up Daryl, when they incarcerated him for that gram of crack, they did not give a damn. They did not care that he had a baby at home who would grow up without a father. And now this child's growing up with all kinds of psychological damage. And guess what? When he acts out because he never had anybody around to love him, you're going to lock him up too and throw away the key. So I am so happy. I'm so proud of the young activists who stand up and disrupt and raise hell and all kinds of other stuff, because that's exactly what needs to happen. I support it. I applaud it completely and entirely. I don't want to ever meet Hillary Clinton. I have zero respect for that family because you've destroyed too many families in the communities from which I came. You don't know what it's like to be around a family where the children grew up without a father because their father got 40, 50 years in prison over a minor drug offense. You don't know what that's like. You'll never understand that. You'll never understand our pain. And you'll probably look at me like I'm a crazy, deranged, angry black man, but I don't really care. I probably am a deranged, crazy, angry black man right now, because when you distribute that kind of pain on people, they're gonna be angry. They're gonna be mad. They're gonna be hurt, or at least they should be. If they're not mad, then they've either been lied to or they're just insane. It's mentally ill for somebody to go through this and watch their family members and loved ones go through something this horrific and then act like it never happened. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not interested in that. So if you want to know what I think about Hillary Clinton, Hillary can go to hell. I have no interest in any of that. I'm not in supporting any of these politicians. I think all this stuff is nonsense. That's all I'm going to say. I'm about to go. So, by the way, guys, I just want to tell you, I was told to mention this too. We're going to be in Chicago. We're going to show our film Resurrecting Black Wall Street, The Blueprint, and also do a conversation about how atrocities like Black Wall Street, the Tulsa massacre, not race riots, the Tulsa massacre, have affected black people to this day, and how we can also rebuild. And we're going to do this at the Harold Washington Center on March 26th. You can find out more by visiting drboycechicago.com. That's drboycechicago.com. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. I'm gone. Peace.